Today is the second day of our academic year, our formation year 2025-2026. And providentially, the church celebrates today the optional memorial of St. John Hughes, someone who really and truly worked very hard to pray for priests and to promote vocation to the priesthood. Very interesting. And providentially, our readings present to us what it means to be a disciple, what it means to work for our God, what it means to go deeper into our vocation as those being called to the priesthood. The 6th chapter of the book of Judges is so beautiful. We encounter a man, a young man, Gideon, who came from a very insignificant tribe, from a very humble family, the youngest in his family. There was political turmoil. The Midianites intended to destroy his people. He was wondering what was happening. The beginning of philosophical thoughts begins in wonder. What is happening? He was wondering. And at that particular instant, in those moments of his wonder, there was the appearance of an angel. Very powerful. An angel called him a man of valor, a victorious man, a warrior. Go for the mission that the Lord has called you. And he asked a question. Powerful. Yes, philosophy begins with wonder, but leads to questions. He asked a question. If the Lord was with us, why have all this befallen us? If God is with us, why are we being marginalized? Very powerful. And that question will receive an answer. And that is the goal of our project. It leads to a deeper appreciation of what God can do among his people, what God can accomplish with weak human beings. It was Mother Teresa of Calcutta who said, God does not call the qualified. He qualifies those that he has called. Very powerful, beloved brothers. So the angel began to help him in discernment of what the Lord has intended. That he has to also make some sacrifices. He has to be able to encounter some situations and be ready. Sitting for hours in our classrooms, studying, making those sacrifices, the Lord told our dear Gideon, and he fulfilled what the Lord intended. And he was able, at the end, to build an altar for God, what we may refer to as the terminus ad quem of our formation, when you will be offering sacrifices at the altar of the Lord. When you, after all the studies at night or during the day, you go back, either come to the chapel or go to your little prayer table or altar in your rooms and give glory to our God. Very powerful. And this is what can help us to understand the gospel reading. Yesterday we saw that young man who came, he was wondering, This is the Messiah. This is the Lord. This is our God. In Matthew chapter 19, verse 16, he went to Jesus and he asked or made that kind of a wonder-oriented question. What shall I do to inherit the kingdom of heaven? Because he was wondering whether it is possible to go to heaven. He is wondering if men and women can make it to eternal life. So that led him to begin to ask questions to Jesus. And Jesus provided an answer. But because he was a man, someone who never wanted to say yes to the spirit of detachment, he ran away. He left the seminary. He said, it is not possible. I cannot do it. This is for angels. And Jesus said, no, for men it may look impossible, but everything is possible for our God. We saw Peter, we saw the disciples. They asked, then who can be saved? When Jesus told them what it means to say yes to our God, using the image of a rich man, using an image of someone who is more attached to his possessions. Jesus began to give us spiritual direction. Yesterday, Moxino did that, Moxineze, giving us little spiritual catechesis on detachment, how we can be detached. It was St. Thomas Aquinas in Summa Theologiae who said there are 4 substitutes to God. 4 things that we are so attached that the men and women of our own century, 21st century, are still attached to: wealth, pleasure, power, and honor. Yesterday, Monsignor said those things cannot help us. Rather, we need to choose our Jesus. Not what we possess, but who possesses us. Not what we have, but who has us. It is God who has you. It is God who wants to possess you. And therefore, you are in a good spiritual space. You are in the best place, in a place of salvation. Therefore, who can be saved? And Jesus said, if you leave everything and follow me, if I begin to be your unum necessarium, one thing necessary, as Jesus told Mary and Martha, especially Martha, in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 10, verse 42. Unum necessarium, one thing necessary. If I become that one necessary in your life, everything is possible. When you have Jesus, you have everything. In his own way of directing his priests spiritually, St. John Hughes said, our wish, our object, our primary preoccupation must be to form Jesus in ourselves and make his spirit, his devotion, his affection, his modus vivendi, way of life, to motivate us. Very powerful. Beloved,